This episode is sponsored by ODP Business Solutions, built to address all your facility needs. Visit odpbusiness.com today. Are you a business professional? If so, do you use LinkedIn? You probably do. If you do, how are you known to the LinkedIn world? Do some see you as the cold pitch ninja or the serial endorser, or perhaps you're a link dropper? Lots going on in your world in LinkedIn, but nothing much happening to help you build your brand. Well, it's time to pivot and learn how to use LinkedIn to not just get connections, not just to drop some links, but to actually build meaningful relationships, meaningful connections with those that can help you grow your business. And to do this, I'm with a friend and colleague, Troy Harrison, who he's been on LinkedIn a time or two, I think. Troy, welcome.
Jeff, good to see you again.
It's great to be with you to talk about another important business topic. LinkedIn, so many people use it. I see a lot of fluff. I see a lot of bragging, testimonials. I guess it's could be good in its place. But tell us what's going on in your eyes with LinkedIn and our industry. What are we seeing and what can we do better? Talk about that.
Well, today we're only going to talk about a little bit of it. Now, I'm going to expand on this, by the way, in my program at the ISSA show on prospecting. But today I want to kind of give a little bit of sample. A lot of people think that LinkedIn is just simply posting stuff, blowing stuff out there. And that's true. I mean, LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a networking arena. And the core of that networking arena is sharing contact and interacting with content. And I see a lot of salespeople out there, a lot of managers, a lot of business owners who are constantly posting contact. And yet they don't do much interaction. What LinkedIn is really looking for, and I'm going to back up just a little bit. Let's talk a little real quickly about how LinkedIn makes money versus other social media platforms. Most social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X, they make their money through advertisements. People post ads on the platform, and that's where most of their money comes from. And that's okay. But because of this, those platforms really don't care if the ads seem or feel spammy. They want more and more advertising revenue. LinkedIn makes most of its money through memberships, through LinkedIn Premium, through LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which I have, through the LinkedIn jobs boards. That's where LinkedIn drives its revenue. Yes, there's some advertising, there's most of it through post boosting, but think of think of the other social media programs as a business where they're just trying to take everybody who walks in, a fast food restaurant, if you will. Think of LinkedIn a little bit more like a private or semi-private club, and they're driving a lot of their revenue through those membership fees to get in the club. So what LinkedIn wants is they want a platform that doesn't feel spammy because they know that as soon as it feels spammy, it's going to lose a lot of its business validity. And second of all, they want people interacting on that platform because they feel like the real value comes from people like you and me communicating to each other on that platform. And they want conversations. This is a good thing. So I'm giving you that background to tell you that one strategy that salespeople need to be doing is salespeople need to be spending, I really believe, a dead minimum of 20 minutes per day on LinkedIn, not posting stuff, but interacting with content that other people post. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Um, why do people post content on LinkedIn, Jeff? What do you think?
I think they post content to advertise what they're doing, to try to get some engagement to a topic. Um,
Sure.
yeah,
To get
I mean,
attention.
it's even though it's a business, you call it
Mhm.
a private club of sorts, you know, better
Yeah,
steakhouse than a fast food place or whatever you want to call it. It's still a social site and people are going to be social. But I think they're trying
absolutely.
to find a way to get that business message in there.
Well, and here's what happens. When people post things they want attention. I'm not just gonna, it's not like going down the road and stapling a flyer to a telephone pole. Okay, you never know if anything happens with that. It is going into a specific room in a specific place and distributing that flyer out to everybody. You're looking for interaction, you're looking for attention. And when we comment on somebody's material, when we like somebody's material, give them some sort of a reaction, we're giving them a little dopamine hit. We're saying, hey, I noticed you. I believe that this was worth seeing, and I am showing you that it was worth my time to see it because I'm commenting back on it, because I'm liking it, because I am interacting with it in some ways. Now,
And if you
well, sorry, go
repost
ahead.
it, if you repost it, that's two dopamine hits.
Yes, kind of.
Okay. Continue.
There's a lot to do with the algorithm that gets pretty funky, and I'm not going to talk about that because I'm still learning about it. But yeah, sharing and reposting can also be very helpful.
Mhm.
However, what most salespeople do, and understand what do salespeople do? We are trying to get the attention of people to whom we would like to sell our stuff all the live long day. And yet, all too few salespeople spend any time on LinkedIn commenting, reacting, all that kind of thing. It always amazes me because you can tell how much somebody is doing on LinkedIn when you look at their profile. You can scroll down and you're going to see the activity tab, and it's going to show you their last post. It's going to show you their last reactions, their last comments, and all of that kind of thing. And very few salespeople do much of that at all. Think about it this way. Let's suppose that there's a prospect out there that you are trying like heck to get into. Now, here's the conventional way a lot of salespeople are going to do that. They're going to send a connection request to that person, and it's going to include what I call a pitch slap. It's not my term, it's a pretty common term. It's going to include this long dissertation on why they absolutely have to talk to you, and it's going to brand you as that pesky salesperson from the word go. Not somebody who's trying to get to know them, just somebody who's trying to get in their wallet. It's the wrong way to approach it. Find that person on LinkedIn, look at the content that they are either posting or the content that they're engaging on it, and then see if you can create a substantive content, a substantive comment about that, or even like it. That's going to give them that little dopamine hit, and they're going to see on their list, on their LinkedIn feed, they're going to say, oh, Jeff Cross interacted with that. A lot of times that's going to say, who the hell's Jeff Cross anyway? And then they're going to go and look at your profile. Now they've seen you. Now they've seen how you want to be presented to the world. That can start that relationship and that can start that interaction in a way that a cold prospecting call cannot. And look, I'm still a fan of cold prospecting calls. Again, this is something we're going to talk about in that program at the ISSA show. But to give maximal effectiveness to your prospecting efforts, you have to be on LinkedIn. You have to be doing things. I'll tell you another good technique. And this is the simplest thing you can do. Just go visit somebody's profile. That's all you got to do. Just go find if you have a target that you're trying to get into, just go find their profile because they're going to get a notice that says Jeff Cross viewed my profile. And again, the same reaction is going to happen. A lot of times they're going to go, well, who's Jeff Cross? Then they're going to go look at your profile. Now you have some sort of a virtual interaction, even though you haven't even communicated or sent messages. Now when you do cold call them, that lets them know who you are. There's a lot of good things that happen from that. So some of the techniques that I encourage salespeople to use, again, spend a minimum of 20 minutes per day, visit profiles, like content, drop a substantive comment. And by the way, when I say a substantive comment, I don't mean, hey, great post. Say something meaningful about the post. And if you're struggling with doing that, this is a moment where AI can be a great help because you can plug in some information about AI into your AI platform. I prefer Claude, but a lot of people like ChatGPT. You can plug some information about who you are, what you do, what your philosophies are, what your worldviews are. And then when you find something that you want to comment on, but you're a little stumped, you can put that into your AI platform and say, What would I or what should I say about this? Make it sound like organically me. AI can give you a great comment. This kind of thing works to initiate relationships. And I noticed you had a question, Jeff. I'm sorry, I stepped on you there.
I've got something to say.
Okay.
So I like what you said, and I agree with it. So we're still friends, Troy. But I'm not seeing a lot of that actually happening when people reach out to me. Here's what I mean. I might comment or like or do something with a post or not, but people will do a pitch to me and it'll
Yeah.
be something I don't do.
Yeah.
We'd like to help you with your cleaning company. Well, I don't have a cleaning company or something
I
like that.
get them all the time.
Yes. So what you're saying is gospel, but people need to actually listen to what you're saying and apply it and do that 20 minutes you mentioned. Do some research before you start spamming. Here's what I can do for you. And it's like, I don't need that software because I don't have a business like that.
If your first impulse is to send somebody a pitch slap, even if it is an appropriate, a well-researched appropriate pitch slap, you're doing it the wrong way.
Hmm.
The immediate pitch slap probably gets you blocked about half the time. Build a relationship with people online before you attempt to pitch them.
Good
That
advice.
requires something that a lot of salespeople and sales managers don't have, which is patience.
Hmm.
And we've talked about this before. Prospecting is a slow play nowadays. And yet, a lot of people do this wrong. One of the things that's listed on my bio on LinkedIn is Vistage speaker because I speak for Vistage chapters around the country. And I get emails 2 or 3 times a week from people who think I am some sort of a decision maker for Vistage, offering me, business credit or God only knows what.
That's a
And
good example. Yes.
yeah, it's a perfect example.
Hmm.
As the modern workplace evolves, organizations must evolve as well. They need a partner that understands this new world of work. We are that partner. We are ODP Business Solutions, formerly Office Depot Business Solutions Division. More than just office supplies, ODP is a force for change, helping address technology transformation, sustainability, innovative workspace design, cleaning, break room, and more, making organizations everywhere say, oh, when they see how much more we can do. ODP Business Solutions.
LinkedIn is something that if you engage your brain and you attempt to visit with people one-on-one as human beings, you can have a lot of success at. And on the other hand, if you don't engage your brain and you treat it like some sort of a mass emailing or a mass mailing project, you're probably not going to have a lot of success because that's not what that platform is there for. Um, so a lot of it really does come down to how are you going to approach this? Let me ask you this. And when I say let me ask you, I'm saying this to your viewers. Let me ask you this. Let's suppose you were in a large networking room full of people. Let's say it's a big networking function at the ISSA show, okay? A reception or something. Are you going to walk up to somebody, stick out your hand, and immediately hit them with about a 60 to 90-second pitch on who you are, what you do, and why they should immediately be buying from you? Or are you going to greet somebody, say, "Hey, nice to meet you. Let's talk a little bit. Let's get to know each other a little bit. What do you do?" And then maybe you end that conversation without even pitching them, but with some sort of a feel for going forward and building a future relationship with them. That's how you need to be doing this. And by the way, if you are the person who walk up to people at a cocktail reception and immediately hit them with a pitch slap, I can find you because you're the one that everybody's walking away from. And it works the same way on LinkedIn. Think of LinkedIn like a big networking
Hmm.
function.
Sure, sure.
Use the same sets of manners that you would use in a networking function, but understand that used properly, LinkedIn is a very powerful tool to help you build prospects and build a sales funnel. But it is a slow play, and it requires consciousness that it is a slow play.
Anything on LinkedIn that you find useful that others may not even have on their radar? Anything you think of there? Because you know what, using it, blogging in, of course, we have so many social sites. You have Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, now there's Threads, there's X, and you've heard the term doom scrolling. You're just scrolling and
Yep.
looking, and that's more like entertainment. Or,
Yeah.
you're going down a rabbit hole of maybe bad news. But LinkedIn, we shouldn't look at it that way. But anything in the platform that stands out to you as different or better,
I wouldn't
really.
recommend looking at it that way. Actually, I think LinkedIn groups are one of the most underutilized aspects of LinkedIn. And virtually every industry has a group to participate in. And when you go into those LinkedIn groups, think of it as a sub room within the big networking function. But now you know that everybody in that room has some level of interest in what you do. Now, mistake I see a lot in LinkedIn groups. And I'll be honest, I made this mistake when I first started on LinkedIn, 10, 15 years ago, however long it was, is dropping a comment or making a post that is specifically aimed at promoting your stuff. LinkedIn groups are like a more focused level of discussion than the discussion in your main LinkedIn feed. And so you need to be prepared to contribute to that discussion. Here's what's cool. Salespeople should be the best gatherers and sharers of best practices in the world because we see so much, we experience so much. Don't be afraid to share best practices even when it doesn't yield a direct result to you. If you can do that, what's going to happen is that people will start paying attention to you and you will become an industry voice. It's very possible. And I'll tell you something I would do from a strategic perspective. If I'm attending a trade show as a salesperson, I'm going to find the groups or the hashtags that have to do with that trade show. I'm going to join those groups and then I'm going to start interacting with people in those groups. Again, not as a salesperson, not as, hey, I'm coming to this trade show and we need to talk. That's not going to be who I am. Instead, I'm going to provide expertise where I can. I'm going to make note of the people that I talk to. And if I do this often enough and strategic enough, by the time I show up to that trade show, I'm known. People already know who, then I can walk around and visit booths and they're go, oh, hey, Troy, good to meet you in person. You can start building those relationships ahead of time. Harvey McKay, a great business author, did a book on networking that he called Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty. And back when Harvey did it, LinkedIn wasn't a thing. I mean, Harvey was doing in-person networking. LinkedIn has become a double-edged sword because it does allow you to do a great job of building your of LinkedIn allows you to dig your well before you're thirsty, but at the same time, it also allows you to run around begging for a cup of water every day. And you've got to avoid the impulse of begging for a cup of water every day. Now, I saw a LinkedIn post yesterday and I didn't share it. I felt bad for the guy. And it was a third degree guy. I don't know. He popped up because somebody in my network commented on the post. But he said, "Boy, this kind of sucks for this to be my first LinkedIn post, but I've been downsized and I'm looking for a job." And I'm just looking at that going, "Man, you should have been preparing for this moment years ago." Because I know he's got the expectation that putting that out to the world is going to result in job offers. I doubt strongly that it will because I think probably the reaction of most people is, who the hell are you? You're just walking into this room just now. Again, think of it like walking into a networking room. You're just walking into the networking room that everybody else has been in for years. You're going to start tossing your resume out to everybody. I don't think he's going to get the result that he's looking for off of that.
No, I think it's human nature to want to help people. So there's that when you see
Yeah,
something like that. But we also want to work with and use those who are already successful.
yeah.
If he's not already a winner, that's a mark against him. Unfortunately, maybe he'll figure it out. Maybe he'll find his way. But
Well, I hope he does. People root for the underdog, but they don't
sure.
often buy from him.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So no, I think, and Even my own learning of LinkedIn is evolutionary in nature. I'm learning every day about what
Oh,
works and what doesn't work on it. And I am realizing that, for instance, I haven't done much profile visiting recently. I need to do some of that. But if salespeople just make this a part of their weekly cadence, and I've got a few clients that one of their techniques is they set their home screen on their browser to LinkedIn. So when they walk into the office, fire up the computer, assuming they're going to a normal office. If they when they walk in the office, fire up the computer, the first thing that hits there is LinkedIn. There's no more vivid a reminder that you need to be working on LinkedIn than having it pop right up in front of you.
the challenge is there's so many things to do. Is that's just one of them.
Oh yeah, there are. And that's why I say you've got to make it a
Yeah.
budgeted part of your cadence. You've just got to say from 8 o'clock to 8:20 every morning, this is what I'm doing. There's nothing that can't be put off for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But if you do that consistently, you will become known in a way that you're not known already, and it will help.
I like how you've said a few times you're still learning because it doesn't matter who you are. We're all students. I've been using LinkedIn forever and the other sites. I'm still learning as well. If you think you've got it figured out, you don't have it figured out.
Well, and they change the algorithm all the time too.
Sure. Things are always changing.
So because I'll give you an example of that. One thing that has been big for a long time is what's called a LinkedIn pod. And a pod is a group of people who have gotten together to agree to comment on and engage with each other's posts for the purpose of kind of gaming the algorithm and gaining a lot more visibility for a post than we get otherwise. Well, LinkedIn has changed their algorithm in mid 2025 to try and combat that. And what I'm seeing now is that a lot of that fake engagement isn't really boosting anybody anymore. So, and I was never a member of a LinkedIn pod. I considered it, and I don't know whether you would call this my stubbornness or my principles. Probably my stubbornness, let's be honest. But I don't like fake engagement. I want real, genuine engagement. So for that reason, I did not engage in LinkedIn pods, and now I'm kind of glad I didn't because I don't have a bad habit to break.
Yeah, that whole concept is kind of like the old SEO keyword stuffing back in the day of websites. You just
Yep,
stuff 1,000 keywords in there at the bottom of the page, make them white and invisible to people, but Google would see them. And I believe it worked for a while, but you can't fool the sites forever. It's going to catch up to you. Just be honest, be real, be a person, and that will always be there.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And speaking of SEO, one thing that I didn't mention very much of is that LinkedIn participation makes you more Googleable. Google likes LinkedIn. And those people that do participate heavy on LinkedIn, not just posting content, but interacting, when you Google their names, they tend to come up higher in the search results. That is one way that Google indexes you. So that is another way that LinkedIn participation can be helpful.
So funny you mentioned that because one practice I started a while back, I would go to LinkedIn and I'd know the person's name I'm trying to reach. Usually it's for a media project. So you and I do these interviews. I'm going to take this and post it on a few groups on LinkedIn that are appropriate.
Yep.
I would come across this name that I needed to connect with. I'd put it into the LinkedIn search. It wouldn't find it, or it'd give me wrong ones, or just nothing was there. You go to Google, there it is, a link right to their profile. You
Yep.
connect, you do business. So I now go to Google when I'm looking for a LinkedIn connection more than I go to LinkedIn to find a LinkedIn connection. It's a weird world out there.
It really is. And
Because why can't LinkedIn make their search engine work the same way?
well, and what you've just demonstrated is that salespeople have to be smart and they got to be versatile nowadays.
Maybe I could be a salesperson.
Maybe.
I'm gonna have to take your session at ISSA show and maybe figure this out.
Hey, please do. Love to see you there.
Well, great conversation. Did we miss anything? You want to close with some final remarks?
Yeah. Um, The final remark I'm going to close with is this. When it comes to LinkedIn participation, just getting in the habit of doing it is the first battle, because so many salespeople don't. And if you get in the habit of participating in LinkedIn, and like I said, not hitting everybody with a pitch slap, but participating, once you get in that habit, then you can start refining. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good right away. And I know I'm talking to a lot of salespeople right now in this video that aren't doing it or aren't doing very much of it. Just get going on it, and then you can refine your participation as you go. My minimum that I hold myself to is 5 comments per day, and I like to do 2 to 3 posts per week. But that doesn't always happen. But I do stick to the 5 comments per day minimum. That is how you know you're interacting with other people's stuff. So yeah, just get started and then and dedicate yourself to learning and refine, and you can become, I don't know if a thought leader is the right word, but you can definitely become a recognized voice on LinkedIn.